On the morning of the 12th of June, 1962, Alcatraz prison delivered shocking news to the entire United States. When the prison staff gathered all inmates for roll call, they found that 3 inmates were missing. The guards walked to their cells. From the outside, the 3 appeared to be asleep, wrapped in blankets. They shouted loudly, but there was no response. So they opened the cells. As the guards entered, they shouted sternly and hit the inmates' heads with batons. A head suddenly rolled onto the ground. It turned out to be a dummy left in bed by the inmates. When the blankets were pulled away, they found the bed stuffed with clothes and towels. The guards inspected near the ventilation duct. They discovered a large hole in the wall leading to a sealed-off corridor behind. They entered the corridor, and not far in, they found a secret workshop used by the inmates. Footprints were also found near the rooftop vent. Only then did the guards fully realize the 3 inmates had escaped. An alarm was immediately sounded. The entire Alcatraz prison went into lockdown. A search for the escapees began in every corner. In addition to the police, the FBI and military arrived on site, launching a large-scale search operation. Both the land and sea surrounding Alcatraz were thoroughly combed, but no trace of the escapees was ever found. During this time, Alan West was also investigated. He had been a participant in the escape plan from the beginning. During the search, guards also found a similar dummy head in his cell. Alan West confessed everything without hesitation. He detailed the entire escape plan. According to his statement, after escaping from Alcatraz, they planned to use a wooden raft to reach nearby Angel Island, then cross the Raccoon Strait to Marin County. After that, they would steal a car and clothes and continue their escape. At first, the FBI believed Alan West was lying, but after searching around Angel Island, they confirmed everything he said was true. Just 2 days after the escape, on the 14th of June, an abandoned wooden raft was found on the southern shore of Angel Island. That same day, a small rubber pouch was also found. Inside were family photos and letters belonging to the Anglin brothers. A few days later, investigators discovered a piece of their raft on the shore near the Golden Gate Bridge, just 50 meters from Alcatraz. A fully inflated life jacket was found. These clearly belonged to the 3 escapees. Given the found items and the bad weather on the night of the escape, the cold waters and fierce waves around Alcatraz, investigators concluded the 3 did escape Alcatraz, but likely failed to cross the raging waters. Their raft may have sunk halfway, and the 3 drowned, scattering their belongings. Furthermore, even if they had survived, they had no money to continue fleeing. Their photos were widely circulated after the escape. Any movement could lead to immediate arrest. What reinforced the belief in their deaths was, about a month after the escape, on the 17th of July, 1962, a Norwegian cargo ship passing through the San Francisco waters, crew members saw a floating body 20 miles north of the Golden Gate Bridge. The body wore a prison uniform, but since the crew did not inform the FBI that day, by the time the FBI learned and searched, the body was gone. Based on all this, investigators began to believe the 3 were dead, but some facts still supported the possibility that they survived. First, the waters around Alcatraz, though cold and choppy, were not entirely unswimmable. In fact, a few months after the escape, on the 16th of December, 1962, another inmate named John Paul Scott also escaped from Alcatraz. With no raft or life jacket, he swam all the way to the San Francisco shore, though arrested soon after due to exhaustion. If an ordinary inmate could make it, then the Anglin brothers, good swimmers, and the intelligent Frank Morris could likely reach shore with a raft and life jackets. Secondly, if they had drowned, their bodies should have washed ashore. within days or weeks. But no bodies were ever found. Moreover, there were claims they survived. In 1962, the year of the escape, the Anglin family began receiving anonymous Christmas cards. Their mother also received flowers on Mother's Day. This continued until 1973, when their mother passed away. At the funeral, two mysterious women appeared. They were tall, wore heavy makeup, and had never been seen before. Years later, when the Anglin father died, two unfamiliar men with long beards attended the funeral. They stood in a corner crying, then disappeared. The family later claimed they were John and Clarence Anglin. They had eluded FBI surveillance and maintained contact with family somehow. When they cross-dressed to attend their mother's funeral, even a heavy FBI presence couldn't catch them. Another story goes, when the eldest brother Robert Anglin was dying, he told family members not to worry about John and Clarence. They were safe, and he had been in contact with them since 1963. These statements further supported the brothers' survival. As for Frank Morris, his cousin Brad White claimed that a few days after the escape, Frank met him in a park in San Diego. His daughter confirmed it, as she was present. The FBI investigated these claims for nearly 16 years, but found no conclusive evidence. In 1979, the FBI handed the case to the U.S. Marshals Service. Yet, even after years of investigation, they too found no trace of the three. No concrete proof. In 2003, U.S. Marshal Michael Dyke took over the case. He reviewed all the long-sealed files, including records from the Marin County Sheriff's Office, and gathered substantial case-related information. One police report revealed that on the night of the escape, a car was reported stolen. A witness said he saw three men steal a blue Chevrolet. The next day, the car was found in Stockton, 100 miles from Marin County. Three men were in the car. It was speeding and involved in collisions with other vehicles. The Stockton police received complaints. When combined with Alan West's testimony, it seemed the escapees had followed their plan, steal a car in Marin and flee. But since the reports were re-examined 40 years later, Dyke couldn't gain much from them. No solid leads ever turned up, but claims of the three being alive never stopped. Time passed, year after year, decade after decade, until 2015, when the case had a new breakthrough, finally revealing where the escapees went. In 2015, John and Clarence Anglin's family told a retired U.S. Marshal investigator that in 1992, a family friend named Fred Brizzi showed them a photo taken in Brazil in 1975. The family gave the photo to the investigator. It showed two men wearing glasses. The family claimed they were John and Clarence Anglin. 5 years later, in 2020, facial recognition with AI confirmed that the men were indeed John and Clarence. But since the photo was from 1975, it did not help locate them. In 2016, another story emerged. A man on his deathbed confessed to a nurse that he helped three inmates escape from Alcatraz: Frank Morris, John, and Clarence Anglin. He said that night, he and a partner waited on a white boat near Alcatraz. The plan had long been set. When the three arrived, they pulled them onto the boat and escaped into the night. In fact, a police officer named Robert Checky gave the FBI relevant info shortly after the escape. He said, that night, after work, he sat in his car near Marina Green, not far from Alcatraz, and saw a white boat with no lights. Maybe that's how they escaped. But the FBI didn't take this key info seriously, nor did they investigate further. The Alcatraz escape mystery kept evolving. In 2018, a shocking revelation came from San Francisco police. They said, in 2013 they received a letter signed by John Anglin. It stated, "The three had escaped successfully on that June night in 1962 and evaded FBI surveillance, hiding separately ever since." The letter also claimed Frank Morris died in 2008. Clarence Anglin died in 2011, and he himself was 83 years old, battling cancer at a secret location. He appealed to authorities that if given medical care, he would turn himself in. The letter left investigators baffled. They analyzed John's fingerprints, DNA, and handwriting, but results were inconclusive and contradictory. No definite conclusion was ever reached. To this day, U.S. agencies still have not found a definitive answer to everything. More than 60 years have passed. The case remains unsolved, becoming an open-ended mystery. Unless the three are captured, their bodies are found, or they live to be 999 years old, this case will remain buried in the archives of unsolved mysteries, a suspenseful case that kept the FBI and U.S. Marshals awake at night, and was one of the key reasons Alcatraz prison was shut down. Just 9 months after the escape, on the 21st of March, 1963, Alcatraz permanently closed. The place that once held the most dangerous criminals has now become just another tourist attraction,